Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And yeah, there's no place for it. And we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place for it. And basketball is headed in a great direction, but nah, we don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us racial names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world and what we have to deal with in that aspect. And we come to play basketball for our job and it's fun, but we don't want to go to work every day and have social media blown up over things like that. It's uncalled for, and something needs to be done, whether it's, them checking their fans or this league checking. There's no time for it anymore.
Someone walk me through it, because she's speaking in riddles and perhaps she doesn't know it. But Alyssa, walk me through. We don't want to have to go to work today and then she said, and have social media. Do you work on social media? Is that what does she travel? I think, where did they move Twitter to, or X? Did they move it to Austin, Texas? Was this game in Austin? Is X still in San Francisco? Was this game in San Francisco? Where exactly did she travel to work and get invaded by social media? They played in an arena somewhere, I would imagine, in Connecticut. If they had played a road game, it would have been in Indiana. She goes into an arena. Is social media there waiting for her as she walks through security? Anytime I've gone into an arena and gone through a metal detector, there wasn't the little Twitter bird or what? Do they still even use that? But Instagram wasn't there waiting for me. Instagram and Twitter, these are choices we make. There's an easy way. The league doesn't have to get involved. The Indiana Fever don't have to do something to get you away from social media. Put your phone down. Don't download the apps. Don't engage. Don't hold the Indiana Fever responsible for people whose tweets you don't even know who the author is. It could have been somebody from Connecticut pretending to be an Indiana Fever fan, or someone from Connecticut who doesn't like you because you're a whiny victim 24/7. And we all know what this really is. It's an attack on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's the wrong face for this league because her fans are so racist. Where have I heard this argument before? Oh, Donald Trump may be fine, but the MAGA people, they're terrible. They're the deplorables. They're a threat to democracy. Again, that's me. I'm a MAGA person. I'm allegedly a threat to democracy. I'm allegedly the black face of white supremacy. If I don't go along with whatever these black feminists say and all their victimhood and whining, in my 11 years, I've never dealt with what I've dealt with. You know why? Because no one cared about your league before Caitlin Clark. There were no opposing fans. You barely had home fans. And so no one cared. A couple 300,000 people were watching your games before Caitlin Clark. Playoff games. And so now people showed up and you're dealing with what everybody deals with on social media. You've got 14,000 followers on Twitter. That ain't much of an audience, baby girl. You ain't catching a lot of strays. There was the other comment that she made, and someone hit me. Replay her comments again, because she said something about someone's face on a historical event or something. And I was like, and this is the first time I caught this part of it. I'm like, is she talking about me and us? and Caitlin Clark on the Roots poster or the Roots. What is she talking about? Did someone put Dejanay Carrington's face on something? I don't know. Play the clip all over again. I need analysis. Those of you in the chat, let me tell you what you hear. What is she alluding to? Perhaps I'm just confused and don't know what she's alluding to. Maybe it was Dejanay Carrington that was on something. I don't. Well, she was on our poster. I don't know what Alyssa Thomas is talking about. If you're in the chat and you know what she's talking about, let me know. Am I reading too much into this thing? Is she potentially talking about our thumbnail from yesterday or 2 days ago, the nailed thumbnail? Let's play the clip again.
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it. And we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called.
And play it all over again. Now play it all over again. I want to hear it one more time, and I need to be extra focused. Play it again.
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it. And we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place for it. And basketball is headed in a great direction, but nah, we don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us racial names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world and what we have to deal with in that aspect. And we come to play basketball for our job, and it's fun, but we don't want to go to work every day and have social media blown up over things like that. It's uncalled for, and something needs to be done, whether it's, them checking their fans or this league checking. There's no time for it anymore.
So there's a meme on X, Hadley's telling me, with Dejanay Carrington as Floyd, as George Floyd, and Caitlin Clark as a cop. Can we find that meme, Hadley? Can we find that? Because I'd love to know what she's talking about here. But here's my issue. And like yesterday, you guys heard me talk about Dan Campbell and what NFL athletes and other athletes are going through in terms of fans tracking down their phone numbers and calling and harassing them, fans doxing them, fans waiting for them after games to boo and shout at them. And I called all that foul and out of bounds. Hey, that ain't, don't do that to Marlon Humphrey. Don't do that to Daniel Jones. Don't do it to Dan Campbell. Hey, this is going too far. Those are real things. And if Alyssa Thomas was telling me that people were waiting for them before the game, after the game, and yelling racial slurs at them or yelling inappropriate things at them, I'd be on board. But she's talking about Twitter and Instagram. And so I sit here, she's got 14,000 followers. And it's really easy to ignore, and most people don't know who she is in the sports world. The only reason why people even know who she is because of Caitlin Clark. And she still only got 14,000 followers on Twitter. She doesn't have much of a brand. But Alyssa, I've been on Twitter since 2009 or 8, somewhere around there. The abuse, the things that are said and have been said about me will be said about me today. Don't miss me with, oh God, we got a couple of mean tweets. I get called a coon, or Uncle Tom. I get called every name in the book over social media and Twitter. That's the price of admission. I don't need anyone to shut down social media. I don't need anyone to protect me or protect my feelings or, oh my God, when I go to work and then I go open up social media. You know what? If I didn't like it or couldn't take it, I would delete the app. Problem solved. But the WNBA, because it's a woke league and because it's leaned into people directing their hatred of Caitlin Clark at Caitlin Clark fans. And these WNBA players, part of their argument, why they kept Caitlin Clark off the Olympic team, we just don't want to deal with her fans and all of that would come along with Caitlin Clark. We must continue to downplay and mistreat Caitlin Clark because her fans are so toxic, and Alyssa Thomas just can't deal with it when she goes to work. Cut it out. Delete the app. Quit coming up with these excuses to hate Caitlin Clark, to abuse Caitlin Clark. You want to talk about racism? Go read DeJounte Carrington, your teammate's Twitter feed. She hates white people, and she makes it real clear over her social media. Start there. Instead of preaching at and wagging a finger at fans over social media, turn to your teammate and say, hey, cut it out. But that's not what she's going to do or anybody's going to do. They're all going to, oh, it's Caitlin Clark. It's her fans. It's her fault. It's Caitlin. Oh, Caitlin's just this burden for the league. We don't want those types of fans. We don't want to have to deal with what everybody else has to deal with over Twitter. We're special. We're tall women who occasionally make layups. That makes us special, and we deserve a special level of treatment. I told you I got mixed emotions about the end of this WNBA season. They're mixed because I don't have Caitlin Clark and that team to watch anymore, but I'm excited that the season has ended so that Alyssa Thomas and all these other whiny victims can deal with the fact they have no fans, and now that Caitlin Clark has exited, they'll get to deal with the traveling gay sex cult that they're comfortable with. That's what WNBA games have been. Traveling freak-offs, WNBA arena to WNBA arena. P. Diddy in charge, or Megan Rapinoe's freak-offs at WNBA arenas around the country. It can return to that. No one will be tweeting about you, Alyssa Thomas. But the WNBA, in its infinite wisdom and cowardice, put out a statement. The WNBA is a competitive league with some of the most elite athletes in the world. While we welcome a growing fan base, the WNBA will not tolerate racist, derogatory, or threatening comments made about players, teams, and anyone affiliated with the league. League security is actively monitoring threat-related activity and will work directly with teams and arenas to take appropriate measures to include involving law enforcement as necessary. Tweets. All over tweets. I got mixed emotions. They got me hooked. I've paid attention to the WNBA. I've watched a lot of WNBA. There's many of the players that I enjoy, and I'm about to talk about some of them because they're on the Indiana Fever, and some are outside the Indiana Fever. But this constant victimhood, you win an important playoff series, you should be happy and celebrating. Now, oh my God, I got mean tweets. I'm going to get on my phone after this game, and people are going to tweet mean things at me, and the WNBA must stop it. I am woman, hear me roar. We wouldn't have paved roads if you were in charge. No one would have a pot to piss in if you were in charge. And then, but I want equality with men. No, you don't. You want special privileges. Period. End of story. Now, men, Jason Whitlock and the rest of you guys, you can go on Twitter and have opinions and get blasted and called every name in the book. But over here in the WNBA, this group of, we're too sensitive. And we can't take mean tweets. Now, Brittany Griner can marry us and beat us up in a domestic violence incident. We're good with that. But a mean tweet? It got me fired up. It's all Caitlin Clark hate. And y'all can hate me. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of Fearless.